Hey guys, welcome back. Let's get Yafa back on. Thank you so much for joining us, and I am loving the communication and I'm loving the ideas that we're talking about. And let's get going. Let's continue this amazing discussion of Jewish proud women that are trying to live their best lives and trying to do things the best possible way. Oh, there we go. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the most wonderful time of the night.
Hi.
'Cause schmoozing and cruising and Yafa and Malki with full of good cheer. It's the
Okay.
most.
Can I tell
Okay,
you
come on.
something? I want to
Yes.
explain one point because I kind of feel like I hope everybody comes back on because I kind of feel like I just want to explain. Um, um, Xmas is a Christian holiday and it is not a Jewish one, and we're not
Exactly.
celebrating it by
Exactly.
any stretch of the imagination. What we're saying is that you can't avoid it. You don't have to walk down the street with your eyes closed, and you don't have to put earplugs in. And you're allowed to look at the lights. It's okay. It's like there's nothing wrong with seeing that there's something beautiful.
Exactly.
That's not the avodah zarah itself. It's just lights. So I just want to make sure that that's clear to people.
Yes. Yes. I hope it is. I hope it is. We're not saying it's okay, like we have to embrace it because we're living in 18 America, and like we're not embracing it. But you're saying that it's okay to enjoy the lights and it's okay to not feel guilty
Right.
about enjoying it.
But that's actually completely off topic already as it is. And this maybe we can do a live another time. I would love to be able to talk about this whole idea of how to be able to live in this world and still maintain your spirituality and not become completely influenced by the world around us. Because where's that balance? Like right now we're saying how we need to create that balance, and we have to live in harmony with everything around us. We cannot live in a little cubicle. We can't wrap ourselves up in bubble wrap and walk through the streets. Although I would love that. Can you imagine if everyone you meet is wrapped in bubble wrap? I have like this unhealthy addiction. Can I show you what I keep right near my bed always?
Don't tell me bubble wrap.
Is this not Tanoa?
Bubble wrap?
You watch Friends to like de-stress. I pop bubble wrap. Do you see this?
That is hysterical.
This is literally, I have a drawer full of them. If anybody wants to buy me a gift, I'm so cheap. Just buy me bubble. I don't care what's inside the bubble wrap. Just send me something with bubble wrap. But can you imagine walking down the street? I would just pop everyone I see. Anyway, so
if I have pimples though on my face, am I in trouble when I'm next to you?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I would I love to ooze it out.
Yeah, you would pop my pimples? Do you know that there's a show called Dr. Pimple Popper?
So Gishmak. Oh no, I don't know that show. Oh my gosh.
She pops pimples for a living, and there's a TV show about it.
No.
I promise you.
Okay, so who said TV's bad? 1 minute.
You see? We're popping pimples.
Exactly. Okay. Should we see what people are saying? I feel bad because I want to communicate, but I feel like were we saying something that we interrupted ourselves?
Yeah. So Mira's Kitchen. Can you finish your thought about how and what to teach our children? Mira, are you Mira or Mira? I don't know how you call yourself, but are you talking about when I was talking about my daughter's school, or in general?
Well, what did she say? I didn't see it.
She said that like she wants us to finish the thought about how and what to teach our children, because especially when the children come home with rules from school.
Right. So here's the thing. I'm going to tell you, like, for example, we were talking about where people live. That's where we got into this. Okay. So again, people have different struggles in different places. I live in San Diego, as I mentioned before, the freeway. And it's for me, my daughters are in a school where one of my daughters, until I switched her out, now she boards. She doesn't live at home. She goes to Beis Yaakov, LA, because she needed a Beis Yaakov. Before we switched her out, she was the only girl in her entire class who kept Shabbos, who kept kosher, and one of the only ones in the whole school. They would go to the mall together, and she would stand there sipping her Starbucks while they were eating in KFC. Okay, that's the school she went to. So this, right? So this is the school. I switched her out. My other daughter is still in that school. For her, this is where she can't leave home yet. But it's hard. It's very challenging. She can't be the only one who's not listening to secular music. So you have to know your battles, and so I only like Jewish music in my home because I like that atmosphere in my home. I like the atmosphere that I feel is more kadosh. That's what I like in my home. But here I have a daughter who is, she's 14 years old, and it's not easy to stand out and she's already so different. She's already the only one who wears a skirt. She's already the only one who properly keeps Shabbos. A few girls keep Shabbos, but maybe they don't know the halachos as well as she does. It's hard, right? It's very, very hard. So I have rules in my home. My daughters are allowed to listen to secular music, but I prefer that they only listen with earphones. They know they can't play it out loud because I don't want that to be the atmosphere in my home. So they listen on their earphones, and everybody's okay with that. And most of the time, they only listen for a few minutes, and then they just go back to the Jewish music that we have playing in the house, right? Because they don't want to be isolated in their room listening to their music. But I don't fight them for it. It's not halacha. It's not halacha. Right? And this is something that they need to find themselves on their own journey as they grow, as they develop their own neshamos. They need to figure out what helps them grow and what do they need to say, okay, this is not really what I need on my journey of growth. So that's really, that I find to be the healthiest way. See who your child is. What do they need? What are their friends doing? What's everyone around them doing? What are the battles that we're choosing? Because we need to be so careful today with the battles that we choose, because if we turn everything into a no, then they're gonna do it anyway, but then they're just gonna do it without us. They're gonna do it somewhere else.
Exactly. I see so many moms that are like allowing so many things that are not the norm in the community, especially in my community. And I give them so much credit to withstand the pressure of society, and doing the right thing that's right for their children, and not caring what other people are thinking, because that is, your children are the most important thing. Like, you cannot care about what everyone else is talking about. And Hashem makes shidduchim. Hashem runs the world, and that's what we have to remind ourselves, and that's it. And it's just amazing to see the women out there that are so strong in face of adversity to do the right thing for their children.
Right.
Gitty, girl.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely. So, hi, Gitty. Whoever else I didn't say hi to yet, I just saw yours because you used capital
Exactly. Gitty wrote in capitalized letters, so we saw it.
So happy you're here. So,
oh my God.
Yeah. So, Malki, by the way, did you save the other live?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I wish there was a way that I could save these onto my thingy, my account also. I don't think I can.
I don't know. Well, hopefully
I'm going to send everyone over to you.
Hopefully hopefully Instagram will come up with a way to do that. But but saying no too much, we all know what happens. Like, saying no too much and just, not letting them do things is just going to cause friction, and they want to do it even more. And we have to find that balance,
Yes. In general, there have to be more yeses than nos in general.
Exactly. I always say it's like a bank account.
Rav, by the way. Yeah, even when you ask a shayla, how do you know if a Rav is really, really a mumche in that particular field? Anyone can say no. If there's a Rav who is saying no about everything, there's a high chance he's not as knowledgeable as a Rav who's able to say yes. Now, of course, I'm talking about within the framework of Torah. We have to make sure it's an Orthodox Rav, because a Reform Rav will say yes also. But
exactly.
I'm talking about, obviously, we're talking about Gedolim, people who are, in the Orthodox world. Sometimes a Rav is afraid to say yes to something, and that might mean he might not be a mocha in that area. And it's important to find someone who is, because very, very often, somebody who really is knowledgeable enough in that area will probably say yes more than he'll say no.
Exactly.
Right? So we need to understand that, to find that Rav, and to be that as a parent also. That it's so many more yeses in Yiddishkeit, and there are so many more yeses in education than there are nos. And
It's
also,
just that you feel like, Yafa, you don't send your children to the mainstream from schools right now.
right.
But like, you know what's going on out there. You've been in a mainstream school as a child.
I do,
You
by the way,
know what the
some of my
situation
kids
is.
are. Some of my kids are. They don't live at home. They're bored. They're in mainstream Beis Yaakov.
Right,
Right.
right, right. So I feel like the schools are setting the parents up for so much failure. And it is so scary to think about because the schools are making way more rules than are needed, especially with the girls. I don't have this with my boys. My boys' yeshiva is literally every single yeshiva out there should follow in their footsteps on how they run a yeshiva. Are you clapping in? My son is cheering. And I feel like the girls' schools are so scared of any little stray thing that might trickle in, that they have to be so strong and so from and so makbid and measure the ponytails because lest it be chatz v'shalom an inch longer. Like, I feel like these schools are setting up the moms to be like Rishaim, and like I can't explain it. It's like it irks me so much. It bothers me so much. How do we deal with this as parents? Like, it's so scary.
Yeah, I'll tell you the thing. We have unfortunately created our own version of Judaism. Okay, because
Exactly.
none of this was around in the time of Moshe Rabbeinu. Okay, this is not what happened. Okay, and my personal theory is that ever since mostly this started in the Frum Ashkenaz community. Obviously, it seeped into others as well. Sephardi also, now it comes from there, but I'll tell you what it actually comes from, what I understand. Ever since the Haskalah, they're petrified of anything new. And that's why the motto is Ein Chadash Tachas Hashemesh, which technically isn't even true because there's no such, I mean, nothing is going to be brand new anyway, because everything has already been in existence. I mean, at the time of the Mabul, they were so progressive. We're nothing compared to what they were then, you know. At the time of the Greeks, the time of the Romans, go back in history, we're nothing compared to what was then. They were much more progressive than we are, right? So we have this idea that comes from the Haskalah, and that's why I said it originated with the Ashkenazic Jews. Ein Chadash Tachas Hashemesh, they're absolutely petrified. So they have to hold on to what the Babbas and Zaydas in the shtetl did. Hey, life in the shtetl for the Babbas and Zaydas wasn't so perfect either, right? But people don't realize that. They're just so afraid to embrace anything new. The problem with that is, by not embracing anything new and by only holding on to the past, we are not living in reality. And we're creating monsters. We're creating an impossible living situation. Because what happens? What happens is you have people who are taught internet is bad. Internet is avodah zara. Internet is the yetzer hara. Bad, 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 bad. Stay far, far, far away from the internet. Don't ever touch it. So what happens? Then suddenly we live in this world where you can't live without the internet. You can't have a job without the internet. My mother, who's in her 60s, had to suddenly learn how to use the internet because all her life she's doing paperwork and suddenly she has to type it up and email it. She took lessons in how to use a computer. Like, it's not possible anymore. You know, this is the world we live in. So suddenly everybody is exposed to the internet and they grow up thinking the internet is so bad. So what happens? What goes through your mind? Oh, I'm doing something wrong. I'm wrong. I'm bad. This is wrong. This is wrong. It comes with so much guilt, and that's a vicious cycle, because once we feel like we're doing something wrong, then, okay, so what's the difference? I'm already on the internet. You know, and the same thing, by the way, with when you're being taught over and over again, secular music is bad. It's bad. It's bad. Movies are bad, bad, bad. So what happens if you do watch an episode of Friends, or you do listen to a non-Jewish song? All of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm so bad. I'm so bad. I'm so bad. So then what's the difference? Once I'm so bad, okay, so now I'm going to put my skirt above my knees too. Now I'm going to take off my
It's like with a diet. It's like with a diet. If you're in a terrible mindset of dieting, and you slip up and you eat the wrong thing, you're like, oh my gosh, I fresh already. I might as well just
exactly.
Let me just eat it all. Eat the food. You know,
100%. So it's the worst thing. It's so unhealthy, and it's not even true or fair, to tell people that it's wrong. It's not. Again, this is our journey. We're trying to become better people, better Jews. We're trying to develop a close relationship to Hashem. Hashem didn't tell us straight out if these things are right or wrong, because he wants us to use our own common sense. He wants us to use our own sensitivities. He gave us free will. We have bechira in this world because we have to choose what is right for our neshamos, and we have to choose how to get close to Hashem. The 12 shvatim, each one of them had their own flag, symbolizing their own derech in vivekos to Hashem, their own derech. Everything has to be within the framework of Torah. That's why Torah is our guideline and it's our framework. But within that framework, there's shivim panim, and there's so many different ways to reach that level, right? And
exactly. And look what Miriam Ginn said, a very smart thing. And we all know this. Internet is a tool, right, same as a knife. You just have to know how to use it.
100%. It's fire. Fire can be the best thing in the world. It can cook the most amazing steak, right? Comet cook. It can cook the most amazing food. Or chas v'shalom, fire can be disastrous and create terrible tragedy, right? It's, you know, everything in life, by the way, almost everything, of course, almost everything is neutral.
Good and bad.
It's actually
right. But Pessi Spitzer, I'm not saying if it's right or wrong to make so many rules, but it's coming from a fear of outside influences, especially since the secular world is so depraved today. I absolutely agree with you, but Pessi, the schools need to let the girls know that there's a difference between halacha and chumrah, and they cannot make the mothers out there to be the risham that they're doing something wrong. It needs to be given over in a more loving and a more loving way. You know what I'm saying?
A more loving and a more
honest and open, exactly.
Like if the schools would talk about what we're talking about now, right? If they would start from when they're 5 years old, telling everybody what beautiful neshamos they are, that you're a beautiful neshama and Hashem loves you, and He gave you a beautiful body to protect that beautiful neshama. And
my daughter's school actually writes that. My daughter's school actually does say that. When it comes to tznius, but they do get ahead of themselves a little, but they happen to say that, and I'm very proud of them for doing that. But I do know that there are so many schools out there that really just ram it down the throats.
Exactly.
All these crazy things, you know?
The problem is a lot of it is in the method of how we're teaching this. We're not teaching it.
Exactly.
I want to point out something really important. I want to point out there is a very fine line, but huge difference between being an educator and being a manipulator. An educator teaches. An educator educates. An educator loves and teaches through love and warmth. A manipulator just wants people to do what they want them to do, because usually it comes from fear of them not doing what they want them to do.
Exactly.
So you have to really be able to understand that. Right?
And it comes into parenting too. Parents could be educators or manipulators. Like, do what I said, go clean your room because I said so, because you have to listen to me, you know? Instead of educating them, by the way, you're going to have termites living out of here if you do not get this place cleaned up. You know what I'm saying? So like, let's listen to some of the comments. Should we do that for a minute?
Absolutely. Let's go for it.
Okay.
First of all, I love that so many of you are interacting with us. It's really amazing. Love it. Thank you so much. It's amazing.
It's amazing, and I'm so happy that people feel with. What's the word for it?
Thank you, Penina.
They could relate.
Such sweet things. Thank you. Well, 1 second. Teach their soul is saying also girls are being told that boys are bad, then they need to get married and have to undo that mindset. Absolutely, 100%. And this comes part of that education process where people need to know from when they're little girls that Hashem created them as these beautiful neshamos with beautiful bodies to protect those neshamos. And therefore, we need to have respect for our bodies because they have such a holy purpose. Our job, we need to teach our girls that our job is to partner with Hashem in creating the world. We're the ones who bring the continuity. Without us, the world wouldn't exist. There would be no more people in this world. That's our job, and that's why He gave us these bodies. And Hashem created us. I'm talking, by the way to talk to young children. That's why I'm doing this dramatically and simply, but obviously it's much deeper than this. But he created us with this desire. Obviously, don't tell us the 5-year-old at age appropriate. He created us with a natural desire to be attracted to boys. It's a bracha. We're supposed, if somebody doesn't have a desire to want to talk to a boy, then there's something wrong with their makeup, right? He created us this way because that's what we need in order to do to fulfill our mission in this world, was the continuity of this world, to bring more life into this world. But he also created guidelines for us so that we don't lose respect for our beautiful bodies and think that there's something that they're not. And these guidelines are tznius, negia, yichud, and we have to wait till the right time and place and with the right person in order to follow those desires that we have. But the desires are healthy, they're beautiful, they're wonderful, they're supposed to be there. And they need to understand that. And it's not bad.
Right.
It's just with everything, there's time and place for everything in life.
Time and place. You took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's important for us to teach them, but it's not that it's bad, but there are boundaries for everything. Just like being undressed is not wrong. When you're in the bathroom taking a shower, you have to be undressed and you have to be able to touch your private parts when you clean yourself. But to do that in the living room, there are boundary issues with that.
Exactly. Yeah, till 10. Careful. Exactly. And the shame also, right? No shame. Like, we have to teach them to be proud of who they are, and all these, like, I you know what? Take it away, Yafa. I can't.
No, I love what you're saying. You're proud of who you are.
No, I can't focus on my words because my mind is discombobulated. I'm extremely tired, but I'm so on fire with this conversation.
No, you're saying wonderful things. I love what you're adding in, to be proud of who you are 100%. And also one more important point is to understand that we need to know this for ourselves and to teach it to our children, our students, whomever, that there's a big distinction between being private and being shameful, right? Private,
exactly.
There are things that are private because they're so special. Again, this goes back to tznius, the discretion. Tznius means being private, means being
Ziava, there are so many girls, there are so many teenagers, excuse me, there are so many teenagers that I know walk like this, hunched over, covering like their upper part of the body because they are so ashamed of themselves, they're so ashamed of their bodies, and they walk with such a self-conscious ear. It's sad, it's so sad. I feel so bad for them that the mothers don't explain to them that, you don't have to feel this way,
100%. It's people don't understand the difference between, because when you know that it's private because it's special, your body is so special and so holy, and it could accomplish the most incredible things, rather than being ashamed of it. This is what happens, right? So yeah, be proud of yourself, be proud of your body, be proud of your beautiful neshama, be proud of the greatness that you have inside. You're a child of Hashem. It's an unbelievable position to carry in this world.
Hesky Spitzer, I read all your things. I read all the things you're writing. I'm reading everyone's messages, and you all are saying amazing, amazing things. And
I'm reading some of them.
Missy is going to be the gym teacher for our new
school. The gym. I'll be in charge of recess.
I love it. We're opening a new school.
Right? Totally.
Oh my God.
By the way, I'm going to read through some of these comments afterwards, and I'm going to try to respond, or you also, Malki, will try to respond privately, because I feel like we missed so many, and I want to acknowledge them. Okay?
Everyone is saying such amazing, beautiful things, and I thank all of you. Me and Yafa thank all of you for joining in and tuning in and relating and feeling as Miriam's doing comedy. Oh my God.
Right.
Malki will do the cook. Malki, thanks for volunteering. Oh my God.
Okay.
That is too
so
funny.
Maybe we should bubble wrap it up.
We should bubble wrap it up. Exactly. Because we could go on forever. This is something we could.
I locked my kids into a room.
With bubble wrap.
Actually, no. I should have given them some bubble wrap if I'll be so bored. So I guess we should wrap it up. Hold on. DNJ doesn't want this session to finish, which I don't either. I really want to sit here all night. I totally do. Should we do this more often, Malki? I'm loving sitting here with you and having this schmooze. I love it. And with
It's
everybody.
amazing.
I love that you're all
It's
part of it.
amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. We really need to
Exactly,
do
Wiz
this
by
more often.
Nisi. I don't think we can change the system. It's going to be very hard to change the system. All we can do is change ourselves and change our families and teach
Our
our
homes.
communities.
Exactly.
Just shower people with love and truth. And
Oh, 1 minute. I need to talk about one more topic.
okay.
I feel like every single woman out there that was from birth has to raise their children as if they are Balei Tshuva. And this is what I told you, Yafa. That is how I raise my children. I treat them like they are Balei Tshuva. I try to show them, look how beautiful Shabbos is, and like, look at High Holy Days. Like, obviously not like that, but like, really, 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 you need to treat your children as if they are Balei Tshuva, because we are. We are doing Tshuva every single day.
Yes,
And
100%.
we from people take for granted so many things about the beauty of Yiddishkeit. We need to bring out the beauty way more than all the dark nose and all the, things that seem so
100%.
strict and so, the words are not coming right now. So
Your words are coming
this is
perfectly.
something I
They're beautiful
spoke
and
to you
brilliant.
about once. What?
I said your words are coming perfectly. They're beautiful and they're brilliant. I like to say this is going to be an easy way to remember it, because it's because of the play on words. You have to learn to pick your nose.
Well, that is a very easy way to remember that.
You gotta learn to pick your nose. What can I tell you?
I know. Oh my gosh, I love it. You got to learn how to pick your nose. It's an 80-20. It's a bank balance. You need to make sure you have enough yeses in the.
Exactly.
You have to make sure there's enough yeses in the bank account so that you could withdraw the nose. I mean, I don't know if I'm putting it out there right, but you guys get what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Otherwise you end up blowing your nose.
Exactly.
They're not.
And then you have and then you get into a lot of tissues.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, Yafa, we're going to have a word war again. This is no good.
We didn't have enough. This time we'll do it live.
Then you run into tissues.
We'll stop with that now because it's not nice.
What?
We'll stop now because it's not nice. Come on.
Oh my gosh, I love it. We could go all night. Seriously, I could seriously think of something else, by the way. Hold on a second. We have to keep it Kleenex.
Gosh, you're so in the box.
I like to keep it nice and fluffy.
Ooh, you're getting soft on me.
I know. Oh my gosh. You
okay,
guys,
anyway,
let's see. We should rent out Dryden Stadium and educate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to sum everything up, we are souls. We are beautiful souls. What is our goal in this world? Sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila. Sorry for the Hebrew again. That our goal, that in order to know what decision to make, in order to know, is this good for me? Is it bad for me? What is my end goal? This is our barometer. If we know that our job in this world is to get close to Hashem and to become the best people and the best Jews that we can be, then that's our barometer. That every single thing we do, before we watch something, before we listen to something, before we do something, before we say something, is this going to bring me closer to Hashem or further from Hashem? Is this going to help me become a better Jew, or is it going to pull me in the other direction? And that is how we make our decisions. And just because, and sometimes we can say, you know what, I think this is not necessarily going to help my neshama, but I don't care. Right now, I just need it. You know what? You're a human being, and that's okay. Tomorrow's another day.
It's like a piece of Ziegelman's cake.
Okay.
It's like a piece of Ziegelman's cake. Sometimes you just need it, and you're like, I'll worry about it tomorrow. You know?
Tomorrow's another day. It really is.
Exactly. That's what I say.
Okay.
That's what I say.
If Hashem,
there are so many nimshalim in the world of diets. There are so many nimshals that you could use in the world of like firmness. It's
100%.
amazing.
100%.
It's unbelievable. You know. Anyway, guys, we really, really appreciate you joining us. This was so amazing.
Who's NGBK? Do I know you?
Who's that?
Yes, when I come back to New York, I want to come back soon. I do. And by the way, I just want to announce quickly, because there are so many young, beautiful, wonderful, amazing women here. What we were talking about teaching as if you're Balei Tshuva, this is why I am actually starting to make retreats from women. I used to do this only for secular women. I am starting.
Thank you. And who put you on guilt trips for that?
Did you? Did you?
I think so.
Oh.
Every time I saw you in Israel, what did I do?
Oh, right. I want to come to Israel 100%. Yeah, and I've been working on this for a while. We have one coming up soon in one area of the States, but I just can't say where yet because it's not confirmed, but I'm working on a New York one now because I want people, we need to just learn the basic fundamentals of Yiddishkeit. Who are we? What is Hashem?
Are we all going?
In this world?
Who's coming with me?
You want us to make a retreat? I want to do it within the next 2 months. Let's put it together. Mike, you helping me? We're doing this, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
after the bar mitzvah.
Okay. Hashtag and add because we're doing this. Okay.
We're doing this because we need it so much. We were born Yidden. We are from Yidden. We need to know how to appreciate our lives and how to make it the best life ever. We know we're different than the rest of the world, but we don't know why and how and in what way. And is that good? Is it bad? How are we supposed to feel by being different? Does that mean we're better than anyone? Does it mean what does it mean? We don't know. Right. And we need to know. I'm so excited, and
we don't know the how or the why.
We are going to make a revolution, and it's about time the frum world starts being proud of who they are, and the frum world starts realizing how amazing we are, and the frum world starts appreciating who we are, So there are so many programs for Bali Tshuva. There are so many schools out there for Bali Tshuva. There's so many, and it's needed, and it's warranted. But it's time for the frum from birth. The FFBs should have special things for them too. It is so important, and I am so passionate about this, and I'm so happy there's so many of you that agree.
Hashtag that. All of that.
Yes. Hashtag that.
So we're doing it, guys. We're doing this. So between Malki and myself, we're going to put this together and just make sure that you're following us for updates. We'll update you on everything on our progress. And I'm so excited. Thank you all for joining us. Malki, thank you for having me on, for inviting me. And
thank you for jumping on and brushing your teeth. Thanks for brushing your teeth. Hi, Ruth. How are you? Exactly. So have a wonderful night, everybody. We hope you enjoyed and just had some food for the soul for once, you know?
Malki, let's do this more often. It was so fun, okay?
It was really fun, and we need to do a word war, a pun war again.
I love locking my kids up in the room for an hour. It was wonderful.
I love you.
Have
a wonderful night, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Take care. Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
You first.
Okay, I have to end it.
No, you first.
No, you. Okay, bye.